leaving spawn with this. What do you make of this EP?
It's interesting to say the least. Mercy, of course, if Dahun is able to stay alive, she is going to be able to turn around quite a few fights. But there is sort of that gamble there where teams have gotten much better at dealing with Mercies over time. I think when Mercy came back in the meta, they were a little bit rusty for a week, but teams are relentless about dying to Mercy, so that's going to be one story to watch. There is, can Dahun stay alive? Dahun will be able to attach his EZA, but we'll see how it works. Torbjorn, of course, in play, a favorite of many people, even though he doesn't get the most play thus far. And Diva on the defense. Again, you don't always see it, but we'll give them a lot of options here. The counter dive right in the H2K. If H2K is at a disadvantage, you have both Endless and XQC going right into them to start things out.
It does look like an offensive Numbani attack, minus for the Torbjorn. If you swapped him out with a Lucio, I'd say this is offense on Numbani, because that's a lot of times you see the Pharah as well. So an interesting looking composition on the defense, to say the very least. Offensively, they're running a variation of the triple-triple and throwing Bird back in onto the Tracer. We'll see what he gets to get on early. Not necessarily the most meta pick, an offensive Tracer here. Sometimes you see it defensively, but they're just going to go with it. I guess it's H2K is right now on play your best heroes.
Teams have been more and more willing to throw in Tracer regardless of the situation, where you'll see her much more even as just a pure offensive Tracer, see people more Tracer maned up. And Bird right now, not quite able to get in the targets he's looking for, mostly just poking at Winston from afar. Does not really have the close range set, but needs to do a whole lot of damage right now. I'm surprised he didn't go into the back room to actually go up there, but for now he's just going to go back to the health and regroup his team.
This Pharah's in great position over the top, getting damage boosted. That's one of the things I talked about yesterday, that teams running Mercy need to run someone who can take advantage of her damage boost. That's exactly what they do there as EZA takes down Kresnik. Looking for more as they're all in a terrible spot. He is raining death above them.
ZZA is going to be looking for more right now. The offense H2K a little bit out of sorts at the moment. Sunbear, though, is coming up. Esper's be able to build that up to start things out. In comes the nano boost, and H2K driving right in. Dahun is down. There will be no Mercy res to start things out. And ZZA, literally has been raining in the rockets from the top. Finally gets a kill on the Bursa, but it was a period of not too much happening. Raj comes in late, takes out Kresnik. That was risky, but the risk pays off. It's a double kill for Pharah, and it will be a hold here from Q.
Yeah, Dahun going down really was going to be bad for them in that fight, but they gutted it out, able to get a couple picks back and forth. Really, you just want your Mercy to stay alive. You can lose everyone as long as your Mercy can stay alive. And it's been a tough couple days for Mercy as teams have been trying to get more value out of her, but a lot of times it just feels like it's 5v6. The exception to that now is, of course, when you're running a Pharah, and you can really get the advantage out of damage boosting a Pharah. Nice concussion.
Here we go, next
blast.
fight is underway. Jordan right now is going to be moving in. We'll have Primal Rage here on the Winston. Might be looking for pop-ups, but ZZA takes out Kresnik early on. H2K already down the tank. However, ZZA is in the back, not quite near the action just yet. Defense, though, they're really spread out. They're not giving H2K great things to engage on right now. Jordan on the Primal Rage, not getting too much done. It's actually using it on it. Torbjorn, bouncing Torbjorn in the back is nano boost. This is not... I mean, it's entertaining, but I'm not sure this is the best use of ults right now coming out from H2K. They're not really in a position to take the point. They're feeding a lot of defensive ults, and Hex, if this push fails, which is very likely, they're in the hot seat now. Look at how many ults are from defense in the time that's left for H2K.
Yeah, you never want to have to be pushing into Molten Core, one of the most powerful ults in the game, even though you don't see it very often. He can just bust this out from anywhere, and that is 800 health on his turret and double damage off of it. Not to mention, it gives him 500 HP and double damage as well. So, an insane ultimate coming up. They're going to have a hard time pushing in. I completely agree with you. There is no point in punching a turret to death as a Primal Rage Winston. Seems like it not the ultimate or ideal use of that ultimate ability.
No, not at all. And now it's all going to come down to one final fight here where they're at a huge disadvantage. Lamb right now almost goes down, is able to end up living here, and Marissa might be disconnected here. I think that's exactly what happened. Marissa got disconnected, and that is why... Oh no, you hate to see this type of thing happen. Hex.
Especially...
I don't think they're going to be able to take this 5v6. No. This is the single limp stage.
Yeah, I mean, it is the worst possible time. This is the obligatory weekly Blizzard please. Pause button would be wonderful, but we just don't have it there yet, so they're going to have to deal with it. You know, in defense of the defensive team here, they were just rolling them even when they had Mercy, though. It did not really look all that close.
They were in a really good shape here, but now they have all 6 ults up. This is 5v6. Soundbear coming out. Last ditch effort here from H2K. Will they do the miracle? 5 versus 6. They're moving in. XBC, Primal Rage here for the defense. ZZA with the barrage, able to take out 3. That is a 3K for ZZA. And they're going to roll over the remnants here. Bird eating that rocket. That is going to be a full first point hold here coming out from the side of Q. And this is not how H2K want things to go today, and I mean, we can go back to lobby.
Yeah, we should BTL to at least wait, and so they have all 6 on defense.
0-0.
Because this is something that we can recreate.
Never mind. Mercy, yeah, Mercy's back.
Okay.
So yeah, Dahoon even says obligatory pause button, please. Yeah, pause button would be great. To be fair though, they did not kill ZZ at all. ZZ all lived the entire time, and you can't let a Pharah live the entire time. They did a good job taking out Dahoon a couple times, but it never mattered. I don't even think, did you see a resurrect? I might have missed it, but I don't think you even had to res that entire game. That's how strong the defense was.
I'm not sure we had a res up that game, or if there was a res, it was one of those things where it's just sort of an end-of-fight res, not really necessary type of things. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't even used over the course of the game, so... In the end, that was a really strong showing by Q, and now Marissa is going to be back in the game, but is H2K on the hot seat here? Because for them to stay alive in the series here, Hex, they're going to have to do a full hold of their own, which is easier said than done, even when you have a huge skill gap between teams. Even, well, we've seen even times where, say, you have an Envious versus a top 32 team. It's still possible for Envy to lose the first point just because of the variance in taking the first point. Everything comes together, you take the first point right away. So in teams that are clearly more evenly matched between H2K and Q right now, this is going to be very, very difficult for H2K to actually hold on here. And if they don't hold on, Hex, that's it. Their tournament life is over. They don't make it to the top 16. And that's where it ends.
It'd be a tough way to go out, for sure. So... As you mentioned, everything resting on this defense. They have to full hold this to keep their dreams alive on Numbani, and Numbani, one of the highest variance maps in the game, so it makes it all that much more difficult. They will not be running into the threat that was ZZA Sparrow, though, as he is now on the Genji. We'll see what he can get done. Nothing super unstandard coming out of the defense. They're running that kind of triple, but they're just throwing Bird in there as well. So Ana and Esper on the defense here. So we'll see what ZZA can get done as he's going the typical Genji route over the top, just trying to get some peek and poke in.
Alrighty, so Lana's going to be on this defense. They need to not only trade, but trade very efficiently. Bird coming in over the top, looking for Dahoon in the back. Dahoon, as I said, is someone away from his team. He's going to be falling here in just a moment, but actually able to stay alive for long enough to pick up a kill. It's 2 kills here from the offense. The offense doing a good job of invading, and even if they get pushed down here, Hex, they've done enough to really keep the defense on its back foot. And take a look at this here. Again, they might hold, but reinforcements from the offense are going to be coming in a little bit quicker.
Yeah, it is a little longer of a walk, though, for the offense, but right now they're getting valuable ticks on the point as they're already nearing 2 ticks. That means, like, everything is going to be going their way momentarily. Endless is on the point, just still on his Diva, alive and very healthy as he continues to pepper in onto this Winston. He gets a lot of damage on right now. They gotta run this point. They gotta rush it.
Endless has been playing Grand Diva right now. Pick up the Winston, looking the Roadhog, laying in the Diva down. 3 kills here from the offense. And Bird right now trying to get the last one heroics. Gets a double kill. Is Bird gonna do this? He has Lucy on the sights. Godhead not in the greatest. Oh, he does not drop the beat. He's taken out before he can hit the ground. And Bird right now trying to be the hero. He is going to go down. And he does not look like he's gonna be able to win this point. It is so close.
They're getting punched off the point.
Oh, okay. Jordan got back on in time. Looks like he was off for too long. And this is the last gasp right now for H2K. They need to turn this back. They need to hold for 2.5 minutes to force a draw.
Here comes Zumiata, but he's taken out immediately.
The offense is so close right now, but no, really recovered. Jordan's getting a 3-person lead right now, and H2K, they might be restabilizing as we speak. Everything going in their favor. I think it's happening.
I knew it was going to restabilize the moment I said that's it, because that is Numbani's curse on me lately. They do find a way to bring it back. It was so close. The Primal Rage missed a punch on the offense to knock off the opposing Primal Rage. That would have been it. That tick was almost there if they could have just booped them off the point, but now they do stabilize. About 2 minutes left. Bird has his ult up. Kresnik has his ult up. They were the two that absolutely saved the game for this team.
Watching Bird right now. Bird moving right in. Has first punch ready. Kresnik immediately punches the empty Winston. It's now 65. Here comes Diva. Oh, Bird trying to back out here. Diva, all fireworks. Not going to get anything done. We'll get a little bit of space if nothing else. Kresnik, Red Shatter down. Knocks down 2. Sets up ZZA for failure. Dahoon under assault in the back. Bird looking for this pickoff. The offense, though, they've gotten some pickoffs that they need. Jolson is doing just as much work as Bird is right now. And once more, H2K on the hot seat. Pulse Bomb comes out. Will knock Diva out of her mech, but Bird is just way too outnumbered here. The offense has done more work. And Hex, this might be it.
They're not going to get there on time. Even a charge from Kresnik doesn't get there. And yeah, I mean, we can talk about the disconnect, but that was after 3 very successful defensive holds regardless. So it's not like they were down the entire game, and it was just looked like, I mean, disconnect aside, we can't really replay that, but it does look like the better team probably won that.
H2K, there's no guarantee that if Marissa hadn't DC'd that they would have read that. I completely agree. I mean, they were running into a lot of defensive ultimates there.
Right.
Now, it's possible Marissa might have been like the entire time, but either way, it was a very impressive effort together. And we thought H2K would be the story moving into the next round, but in fact, it is going to be Q that we'll look at and see how Q can go, how Q can match up against potentially the complexities of the world. So should be interesting. And by the way, 8 Primal Rage kills. Not a card to see all that often from a Winston.
No. Whereas the other Winston was just punching turrets, QXE or XQC was punching people. QXE is a StarCraft player. I don't think it's the same person. So yeah, we'll take a look at what this next bracket goes, because that is the end of our open section of the bracket. We're going to be taking the 8 that came out of the open section, seeded against the top 8 based on our GosuGamers.net rankings, and we're just going to be moving on here. The first one, I believe, is still a best of 1. I'm going to hit that exclamation point bracket in chat just to double check.
That is absolutely the case for the next round, and we'll be starting as best of 1. But you do get the mulligan. You do get to go to the lower bracket if necessary. So you get a little bit of extra space there where, say, you go up against a real dominant team right away, you'll be able to go back. So we will see how things go. But Q right now, the story of the day, we'll see what they can do as they move forward and actually take a look at the bracket. We might be able to figure out just who they're up against. I think it just goes from top to bottom. So
we'll see if they get seeded in versus Complexity. That's the match I want to watch. NWA also in here too. As we mentioned, they took the EU yesterday. LDLC also made it very far yesterday. Team Solo Mitt, which is just a great, funny name, also in this. It's a Secret is the team that is queued up as those are going to be recognizable players as well. So a lot of I mean, I guess this weekly is a lot of kind of pickup teams. I mean, we saw at H2K, they're not necessarily a pickup team, of course. They're under the H2K banner, but a lot of just players that you and I have known for almost a year now, just starting to put together new rosters and looking very good. You look at NWA, you look at this Q team, those are players that we know, and they're trying to put together rosters and looking pretty good. Of course, Complexity would probably still be the team to beat, but I don't know, man. I don't have the greatest of faith in Complexity as which Complexity is going to show up today. They could roll through this, or they could lose in this best of 1.
Complexity has been a very variable team. I know we say that about a lot of teams where they're having issues, but I feel like Complexity might be the most variable team we've seen in a while because we know they're capable of beating C9s or the C9-esque teams of the world, and yet they've been on a huge decline. I would say that the 2 big stories in Overwatch in general, as far as top teams that have had real trouble as of late, it's Complexity on the NA side and Dignitas on the EU side. Those are the teams that at one point were both very solid, undisputed top 4s, and they've had trouble in recent times. They've looked way more vulnerable, way more mortal, and it was proven by the fact that on the NA side, Complexity wasn't even able to get into E-League, so they had some real troubles there in terms of actually going to Atlanta. So that's a team that's been soul-searching, looking for some answers, but that's also a lot of motivation to improve. So we'll see how they look here today. If they look super dominant, the future would definitely look brighter for Complexity.
Yeah, I mean, it's just stunning and disappointing that Complexity don't get into E-League. I mean, after switching sponsors several times, you can't think that their sponsorship in Complexity is exactly happy with the results after they bought them out from TSM. So we are going to wait for our next bracket to come up. It is going to be a best of 1 when we come back. We'll figure out which game we're going to go into. If this Q team is playing that Complexity team, that will be the one we're going to head into. Of course, please visit our sponsors at Maturino, gg.ting.com, and owkings.com, where we go to a short break and try to set this up, and this time I am going to fix my green screen. We will be right back.
Data is now cheaper.